What's happening, Alley Cats? As you know, every day, more and more of the physical pieces of our childhood end up in landfills, broken, thrown away, gone forever. So while we can, let's get out there and see what we can save, or at least document. It's another retro thrifting. So today's retro thrifting is a little different because I was out of town. I was doing some traveling. So the majority of the thrifting I got to do over the last couple weeks was in Tucson, Arizona. So the very first place I stopped was the Animal League charity. And yeah, I used Google Street View for the outside because I was not on my filming game and forgot to film frequently exteriors and things like that. So first off, we find some interesting VHS tapes, a small selection. This is just straight-to-video VHS garbage. Yes, I purchased this. How was I supposed to pass it up? When something looks this bad, it's 2 tapes? Oh my god. Right around the corner, we find a few more VHS tapes. Nothing crazy interesting. Not that bad, either. Just nothing super exciting. Mostly stuff that I already have, if it's interesting. This was kind of cool, though. Love and Human Remains. Couldn't pass that up. It's either going to be awesome or worthless. And that's what I love about picking up tapes. Space Escapes, although Space Escapes sounds like an interesting movie, too. Found this. There's a few old PC games here that were kind of fun to see. Nothing real exciting, but Oregon Trail, come on. You always get excited. What? That's right. As I turn the corner, I find a shopping cart full of VHS tapes. I went through this thing. By the way, if this was in Minnesota, I would just have wheeled this whole thing out. I don't even care. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of exciting stuff in here, but look at this tape. Look at Independence Day in this clean white case. Didn't know what it was, so I popped it open, and it turns out this is an Academy Award for your consideration screener copy. So they were trying to get, I guess, Independence Day at least nominated for some kind of Academy Award. Super cool. And then we hit the White Elephant thrift store. Apparently this is the biggest in town. I spot this bin of remotes, which I was hoping I would maybe find some like really old stuff. Maybe some Laserdisc player remotes that just, ended up in here. Unfortunately I didn't, but that previous one, that Zenith one, was kind of cool. And I thought this Panasonic one was kind of a neat old style too. Nothing crazy exciting. And then I did find a table of VHS tapes. The VHS tapes. Fatal Beauty. Oh. That was not what I was expecting when I saw the title of the movie. But yeah, the amount of VHS tapes is probably 10 times what I've been finding at home lately. Look at this. Right around the corner from that table is a wall of VHS tapes. And I have to point out, too, these are alphabetized. Like, somebody puts a lot of effort into this. Factory sealed copy of Blair Witch 2. I would have grabbed this, but unfortunately luggage space was limited, so I had to kind of be very selective about what I was going to pick up. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think this is maybe the BBC TV run. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. And then, yes, once again, I forgot to take an exterior shot, but we hit up Goodwill, and once again, the VHS tape game is so strong out here. And my wife's Eagle Eye tape spotting game was on fire today too, because she spotted this right here, the Ernest Greatest Hits Volume 1. I've been on the hunt for Ernest tapes, and seeing them in the wild has been scant at best. And then there was this old Predator tape, which looks like probably the first VHS release of it. Neat to see. And then probably the most exciting tape find, especially for my wife, in a long, long time. You'll see here a lot of normal stuff, nothing super exciting, but she passed up a tape a while back and was kicking herself ever since because it's not a cheap tape to get off of eBay, and it is Drop Dead Fred. And not only do we find Drop Dead Fred, but it's a rental tape in a red clamshell. So, just to put a bow on the Arizona thrifting that we did, there were a few places that I picked stuff up that I didn't film at. So first of all, just a couple quick things were, I went to the Tonka Verde swap meet with my wife, and she found, you all know I'm all about the Mighty Max figures. This is a little figure playset, and it actually has all the little dudes in it, which with these Mighty Max toys is always the most exciting thing, because you do see them around somewhat regularly. I don't think it's going to want to focus, but you get the point. Very cool, very cheap. And then I picked up Uniracers for the Super Nintendo for $10. It's a good price. It's not like a steal or anything, but it's a game that I've always wanted to add to the collection. I played it back in the day when it first came out, but it was a game that disappeared somewhat quickly. There were legal issues. Pixar sued. I don't remember who made Uniracers. You tell me. And then at another church rummage sale, I found some cassette tapes. We've got Lethal Weapon soundtrack. Oh, Lethal Weapon 2 soundtrack. Diplomatic Immunity. We've got Top Gun soundtrack. You know where I'm headed. The Danger Zone, that's right. And Tequila Sunrise, which I've never seen the movie. I don't know if the music is good, but I mean, check out those fresh young faces. Pretty great. And then we stopped at a bookstore and we found Tron, a little paperback based on the novel. Super exciting for me. I'm a big Tron head. And Willard, the book, formerly published as Ratman's Notebook. So I'm very excited to read that. So those were all the little odds and ends that I didn't get filmed during my thrifting adventures. So I'm obviously home now. And this morning, right before I started editing all this together, I decided that I wanted to go somewhere familiar. I wanted to get back in the swing of all my usual thrifting haunts. I'm a creature of habit, and I wanted to start getting back into the habit as soon as I could. So, bright and early this morning, I made a stop at Savers. And yeah, so while I was in Arizona, it snowed about a foot in Minnesota, which was super, super cool to come back to. But you know, it was genuinely cool to come back to. Look at this. A week away from Savers, some interesting things have popped up. I love those multi-stereos. You know I do. This cute little boombox. I guess you'd call it a boombox. It's on the small side, but really it was a nice quality build, really weird retro style. Very neat. This was a really nice little high-end cassette player, but when you look inside, the way the cassette goes in here, I still don't fully understand. It looks like you put it in kind of diagonal and it must drop in or something. I'm not positive, but it was very neat to see. And then looking through the puzzles in the games, spotted this beautiful Batman Forever poster puzzle, 2 feet by 3 feet. That would be kind of fun to put together, I'm not gonna lie. Unicorn Delights, that is not exactly what I was imagining, but I'm a dirty old man. And Battlestar Galactica jigsaw puzzle. And as far as I could tell, this was like legitimately that old, not retro or something, not made to look old. And Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the board game, yikes. But nothing is more yikes than this. A Jar Jar Binks 3D sculpture puzzle. And usually this Savers is dry when it comes to cassette tapes. So I get the feeling somebody just unloaded a big collection, because I have never seen this many cassette tapes here ever. And pretty much across the board, there was a lot of good stuff. CCR, AC/DC, a lot of Elton John. There was Faith No More. There was all sorts of stuff here. Really cool. I did buy a few. And look at this, some big box PC games from really the height of my love of PC gaming in the maybe mid-90s, I guess, was when my family got kind of a decent computer and I could start playing these games. Theme Park was one of my very first computer game purchases, so that was super, super cool to see it there. T-Mac looks awesome, but I have never heard of it in my life. But yeah, super cool. Freddy Fish and that Shadow Warrior box is awesome. Now look, I started opening these up because I was maybe going to buy a couple, but every single one of them had nothing in them or incorrect stuff. So this game has a Lemmings instruction manual and then random floppy disks. This one's for Apple. None of them had the right games in the boxes, so it was incredibly disappointing. So there you go, another thrifting adventure. We found a lot more VHS tapes this time around than I really expected to. I guess I should have known that retirees in Arizona are going to be unloading a lot of VHS tapes, but it was nice because it's been a little bit of a dry spell around my neck of the woods for tapes. So yeah, thank you everybody, as always, so much for watching, and I will catch all you cool cats and you dirty dogs on the flip side. Bye-bye.